Hey YouTube, this is my first video, hopefully first of many. Um, Recording this on my phone for now because I gotta get my money up, obviously. This is just gonna be like a introduction video. I hope to be vlogging. Might not be every day, but a couple times a week. I'm 22 years old. I have one daughter and two stepdaughters. My daughter is 9 months old, and the best thing that ever happened to me. She's great. Even though I get less sleep now, I wouldn't trade her for the world. She's the happiest little baby. I currently work in healthcare. I love that too. I love taking care of people. Sometimes it get hard, but to me it's worth it. It's so worth it. For hobbies, I guess I read a lot. I do hair. Right now, I have this scarf on my head because I'm trying to be more natural and try like more natural hairstyles instead of straightening my hair, and it's going pretty good, I think. I haven't had a perm in over 2 years now. I don't miss it. Oh my gosh. Even if I decide to start, I don't know. Even if I decide to start putting products in my hair, like dye or straightening my hair or stuff like that, I still would never go back to doing perms. It's just, my hair's been a lot happier without them. So, hey, it's Tuesday, so I have to work later, 2:30. I don't know. I'm kind of a procrastinator, so I kind of start getting ready at the last minute, but today I can't do that because I have to walk to work. Sorry. This story is so recent and it's just hard for me to. Friday, I was on my way to Chicago with my family. Obviously I was driving. My boyfriend was in a passenger seat. My sister was in the seat behind me. My 9-month-old daughter was in the seat behind my boyfriend. And in the far back, my 3-year-old stepdaughter and my 6-year-old stepdaughter. Everybody had seatbelts on. Everybody had their booster seats or car seats. I don't do unsafe driving. I don't do texting and driving. I don't smoke and drive. I don't drink and drive. I basically don't do shit but hold on to that steering wheel and look out for what's going on around me. Because just personally because of the things that I've seen and the stuff that I know can happen if you drive distracted by anything. Like the most that I've ever done while driving is eat. And I was just plain starving and couldn't take it no more. And I was just munching on some French fries. So yeah, we get to Indiana, past Michigan City, and my back tire popped. And I was in a left lane. I was going about 90, maybe more, but I believe 90. And the car spun out of control. Luckily, there were no cars to the right of me because I don't know how many times the car did spin, because it felt like we was like spinning for forever. I cannot make this up. It felt like we was just, I don't know. It was the most scariest thing that had ever happened to me, because if something had happened to one of those kids, I wouldn't know how to like continue on in life. I wouldn't know how to call their mother and say, you trusted me with your kids and now they're hurt. I wouldn't know what to do for myself if it was my child. If it was my sister, me and my sister are very close. She is the closest person I have. Her and my child's father are like all I talk to, all I see every single day. You know, we all like live in the same house, so we all we got. Like, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself if anybody had been hurt. And I'm sure that it would have been a tragedy to them if I had got hurt. So nobody got hurt, thankfully. I don't know how many times we did spin, but once we finished spinning, we crashed into a ditch. The police came. I would give it maybe, a couple minutes later, the police were there. They did not help the situation. I went from being so grateful that my family made it to scared, because I am dating a black man. And he's not, a huge, intimidating guy. He's pretty tall, but he's, skinny. I mean, a little muscular, but not like, you're not going to look at him and be like, oh, he lift weights. It's more like, he probably play basketball, might run a little bit, but not like, some guy that you would like immediately be intimidated by. And they go up to him immediately and like, oh, do you have drugs? Were you the one driving? Do you have a weapon? Those are pretty basic questions. I didn't, obviously, who has a problem with anybody asking those type of questions, especially if you don't? So he answered the question straight out. He put his hands up. He said, you can search me. And they just kept asking over and over again. Literally, I don't mean like, have a little conversation and then go back to the question. I mean, standing there, literally saying, are you sure you don't have drugs? Are you sure you don't have a weapon? Are you sure? Like, how fucking confused can I be? Either I have drugs and a weapon or I don't. Like, at the end of the day, in this situation, it wouldn't have helped anybody for him to stand there and lie. So as this is going on, I'm also on the phone with my insurance. They have to know where I am in order to come and pick up the car. So I go to the police officer and ask him where I am. His response was, oh, don't worry about it. We got a tow truck coming. And I said, yeah, but it would be cheaper for me to use my insurance, even though I was in Indiana and I would have had to have my car towed back to Michigan. It still would have been cheaper than using theirs, because I would then, using theirs, I would have to get my car out of impound or whatever you want to call it, their tow lot, and then call my insurance for my insurance to bring it from their lot all the way back to Michigan. So like that would have been an extra, fee. So I'm still trying to like figure out where I am so my insurance can come get me. Especially these days with everything that's going on. So I'm like, no. I would feel like better. I'm sure he would feel better if I stay with him. Okay, you can stay, but the kids gotta go. No, no, no. Not that my sister is not old enough or not capable to have watched after them until we met back up. I just felt like We came into this situation as a family, and we're leaving as a family. So, I tell him the situation. He tells me, like, I need to go. If they're going to take the kids, I need to go. I just need to go. He'll be okay. No, I can't. First of all, he wasn't even the driver, so what else do you need to talk to him about? I'm the driver. It's my car. It's in my name. Nobody else's. So I said, well, I'll stay. I can answer any questions that they have because it's my car. I was the one driving, so you go be with your kids and you go make sure that they're okay. So as we having this conversation, the police officer is just trying to like rush me along, basically for me to like rush and make a decision. Do I want to stay with him or do I want to go with my kids? Because he was trying to make it seem like they're leaving, whether I'm there or not. So I went to the ambulance and I asked her, if it was possible for her to wait a couple minutes. I guess I did lie. I told her that I was waiting for them to give me a ticket. She said, yeah, that's fine. They haven't been called out on any other calls. But if they do get called on something more urgent, she would have to leave. Okay, that's understandable because you can only do your job. So, as I'm getting back off, the guy comes up to me and he's like, whose boyfriend is this? Is this your boyfriend or hers? And I'm like, mine. She's like, okay, well, I'll give him a ride and you can ride in the ambulance. I said, I think it's enough. She didn't wake up until we were almost to the restaurant. Um, the 6-year-old and the 3-year-old, they kind of, sat there for a minute, like talking to each other. My boyfriend was in contact with their mother. Um, she was the first person that he called because it's only right. You don't wait to make a phone call like that. Um, so she was already on her way with his mom. So they were coming to get the girls. I had already called my mom and she was coming to get us. Um, I guess if she hadn't, we would have had to find a way to a bus station and take the bus home. But my mom, she usually always finds a way, just like any other great mom. um, so after a couple minutes, the kids start, being kids again and playing and, talking and laughing and wanting ice cream and this and that. So, of course, we got them ice cream because the situation was it was so crazy, man. It was intense. They got their ice cream. I got my baby a yogurt and by the time they finished, their mom was there, and probably 10 minutes later, my mom had pulled up. So we made it home that night, and everything was foggy. Everything seemed like it wasn't real. I didn't sleep much because I just couldn't. I couldn't. I know that the crash was not my fault, but I felt like I don't know. I felt like it was, and I could have hurt a lot of people if somebody did get hurt, because obviously if one person had got hurt, that person had family and people that love them, so I wouldn't have only hurt them, I would have hurt everybody involved with them. So I thank God that it was no cars by me, which is crazy because, like I said, I was on a highway, 94. No cars next to me. So that was pretty good. Because I didn't put anybody else's family through what my family had just went through. Yeah, so the next morning I go through calling my insurance and calling the impound where my car was. He tells me that I owe him $310 for taking my car 9 minutes away from where it crashed. But I was so ready for the situation to be over, I didn't argue it. I'm just going to pay the $310 and hopefully, all of this is just over. So then my boyfriend's mom, she takes me and him to the small town in Indiana where my car was. The tow truck guy, first of all, it was only him there. At first he had the doors locked, and then I'm like, okay, maybe I should call. He heard us out there talking and he came and opened the door. He was rude. Extremely rude. And like, I don't know. At first I thought wow, I didn't do anything to you. I have a thing where I always take stuff personally. So when somebody is rude, I always be like, what did I do to you? But in this situation, this guy was just a dick. It didn't matter who he was talking to because eventually us standing there and trying to get everything figured out, another customer came in. Obviously, it's a tow company, and he was just as rude to me as he was to this man. And so I was like, okay, maybe that's just how he talk. So we get to the car, and it looks like the only thing that's wrong is I need new tires. Which still is what's crazy to me because I had just bought the car 2 weeks ago. Well, started financing it, I guess. And I asked the guy like over and over again. Questions that anybody would ask. What's wrong with the car? What should I be trying to get fixed? Like, anything. But specifically, I asked about the tires, the brakes, any type of leaks, the power steering, all of that. And he kind of just like was like, no, everything's fine, you know, blah blah blah, everything's cool, blah blah blah. But I guess what should have been a red flag is the car did come with four tires. But because of that, because of the car coming with four tires, I did ask multiple times, so should I get these tires put on? Are these tires that's on currently, are they bad? And he told me no. No, the tires they're good. They look, pretty okay. He reassured me that he had somebody check out the car before he put it on the lot, before he sold it to me. Um, so, okay. Obviously that was a lie. But anyway, we see the car. I'm thinking all we need is tires. So my mother-in-law is like, oh, why don't you just take it to like a discount tire place or whatever. So we go in there and I ask him where's the closest tire place. Because obviously I only have one spare and that's not gonna work because I need more than one tire. Um he gave me the runaround a couple times because the place that he wanted to send me to, which I'm guessing is somebody who's either a friend or a family member of his, they closed at 1 o'clock. But at the time it was like 12:50. So obviously they can't do nothing for me. I asked him if he could tow my car to Discount Tire instead of me sitting around waiting for AAA. He told me no. Um, it wasn't really no particular reason. I guess he was trying to say that it was about finances. He was like, well, I charge a $25 hookup and $5 a mile. And I know with AAA you probably could get towed for free. Um, but at that point I wasn't really worried about it, I guess. I guess I just really wanted to like again have the situation be over. I was ready. So I was willing to pay him. He turned me down, whatever. We wait for AAA. And the guy that shows up, he's like, um, basically telling me about the tow shop and the people that work there. And I guess, like, I don't know, they're known for, like, scamming and gypping people. Which wouldn't surprise me because those are usually the kind of places that police officers refer people to. Not good police officers, because I have, like, not that I have a lot of police contact, but if I see, a police officer at a gas station or whatever, I always, say hello and, speak to them. And I know that there are good officers out there. The officers that we came into contact with, weren't, I don't feel like, I feel like they were searching for a reason to put somebody in handcuffs after such a horrible incident happened. And even after they couldn't find a reason, they still were trying to like rationalize taking somebody to jail after something like this happened. Um so we get the car to the tire place. I tipped the tow truck guy because he did tow my car for free, but he was so nice in my situation, and I felt like I had come into contact with so many rude people. It was only right. I tipped him. I gave him $40. Um, so I got all four new tires, and then the tire place tells me that I have a small radiator leak. To me, that's no problem. I wasn't too far from home, so I figured like I can make it. I have coolant. I have water. I feel, no big deal. If that's all I have to face from here on out, cool.